I am Vinnie Tortorich. Folks, your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, just like the woman on the other mic. She comes in every Wednesday, whether I want her to or not.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the beautiful Miss Gina. Grad, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
thank
I
you.
love you, Gina.
Such a warm welcome always. It warms my heart, warms my cockles. Thank you so much.
As soon as I figure out where a cockle is, it sounds like a dirty word,
It
right?
does.
It
Cockles.
warms
It's
my
probably
cockle.
next to your kishkas, as us Jews say.
Yeah.
When you find them, please let me know. Um, Vinny, I know what you like to do with most studies, and I think that usually entails you, using it as toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
But and yes, I love finding studies that are gonna make you mad because let's face it, I'm one of the many, Vinny supporters that likes when you're angry because I think it's fun for the rest of us. That being said, I stumbled upon a study that I think has maybe some legitimacy, and I want to get your take on it.
Remember the last time you brought a study that you thought had legitimacy, Gina?
Yeah, it didn't go well.
Yeah. All right. So let's try this.
Okay, let's try this one. Now, of course, the New York Post reports it, and it's a study out of USC, but I'm very scared/intrigued by it. So the whole point is teens, like, and adolescents who eat a lot of high processed junk food can basically be giving themselves brain damage. And they break down why, and this is fascinating and terrifying. So I know that we're not rats, but apparently we have enough in common with them to study them and say, wow, that could be us. So researchers fed rats a high fat diet and then ran them through a series of memory tests. And when I say high fat, I mean the processed stuff and the junk stuff. So they said, what we see, not just in this paper, but in some of our recent work, is that if these rats grew up on this junk food diet, then they have these memory impairments that don't go away. And this was done, like I said, at USC. The study used the existing research on Alzheimer's disease. That's a type of dementia that impacts thinking and behavior and memory. So people with Alzheimer's have lower levels of something I can't pronounce. It's a brain neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which plays an important role in involuntary muscle movement and arousal and learning and attention. And the research team studied the acetylcholine, if I'm even saying that right, levels in rats on this high sugar processed food diet and the control group. Well, the control group had no memory problems. The high junk food rats couldn't find their ass from their elbow. And the person in charge of the study says, unfortunately, some things that may be more easily reversible during adulthood are less reversible when they're occurring during childhood. So it's scary, especially having a kid in the house. And I'm wondering what your thoughts on that are.
So I'm glad that they did it in vivo versus in vitro. Do you know the difference? Most people don't know. Do you know in vitro versus in vivo?
I've never heard of in vivo. I think Vivo is a television brand.
Yeah, you're close. In
Okay.
vitro means they did it. They did something in a test tube.
Okay.
In vivo means it was done in a living organism. In this case,
Got
rat.
it. Right.
Um, which, oh, by the way, speaking of which,
No, I was
um,
reaching for something.
I found this the other day.
Nothing beats it's a Yeti. It says nothing beats peeing outside. That is true
I
for
don't know
you.
where I'm going to put it yet, but most of my urination is done outside.
I would say put it on your car bumper, but then the cops will tail you to see if you're
I'm not a
vandalism.
I'm not a car bumper
Bumper
sticker
sticker
guy.
guy, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want anyone to know
Yeah.
that I'm into archery and kayaks. I don't want them to know I'd rather be
Yeah.
fill in the blank.
In Mammoth. I'd rather
Yeah,
be
I'd
skiing.
rather be skiing. I'd rather be
Right.
skating. I'd rather
Right.
be
You
yeah,
don't wanna put up a sticker how many marathons you've run?
yeah. I don't want to have one of those up, even though you know your car company, um,
Subaru.
Subaru, they give you little things that you add on. You should see Serena's. It looks like a
She
joke.
she has them. Okay, a fan from the old Adam Carolla show sent me all of theirs. I couldn't put them on my car. I think I gave them away.
Well, you got to put the ones on that you've done.
Yeah, like a Girl Scout patch. You can't, not stolen valor.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Okay. Now let's get to this.
Okay.
I saw that sticker. And I went, oh, I meant to show this to Gina.
That's fantastic.
Um. Okay. Duh. Let's start with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I have a guy. I'm not going to say his name, but he does work around my house.
Okay.
He does the work. Well, I'll give you an example. I said to the guy the other day, he's in his early mid-20s,
Mm-hmm.
and I broke my lawnmower.
Mm.
I like to cut my own yard.
Sure.
This guy does other work for me. And I said, hey, let's call him Steve.
Sure.
I said, Steve, come by and cut my grass. Okay. And when he showed up with his lawnmower, I noticed he didn't have a bagging device.
Oh.
And I said, Steve, listen, normally I don't worry about a bag because I keep my lawn high and tight.
Mm.
But there's some length on this grass. And I don't want all that clumped up grass along the way because it'll kill the grass underneath.
Got it.
So you don't have a bag, which means when you're done with the yard, I need you to go around and rake.
Yep.
I need you to rake all this up. No problem, then. Okay. I leave. I go do stuff. I come back. He's gone. Well, as a matter of fact, I came back. I saw him raking.
Okay.
And then I leave again. I come back and he's gone. There's clumps all over the yard. It's like, how much raking did he do? Did he not hear me say,
Gotta all be raked up.
I spend all this money to keep this lawn? He looked me right in the eyes. He heard me say it. I told him why it needs to be done. If you're not going to bag it, you need to rake it.
Right.
Right. And even when you bag it, I mean, every 2 seconds, it becomes a workout because every 2 seconds you're emptying that bag.
Bending and yeah.
So I came into Serena. I told Steve, break the. He looked right at me, and he didn't do it. Now I'm sure I paid for him to do it.
Uh-huh.
She goes, "Oh yeah, the price was higher." I went, but he didn't do it. And then I saw something else. Another guy came over to do something. I told that guy, he didn't do it. And they're looking right at you saying yes, because sometimes I'll say, do you really understand? I want A, B, C, and D to these people that come around.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Sure.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And like, I'll go out there in the middle of a project and go, oh yeah, Vin, we got it. We're good. Okay. They don't do it. And I'm sitting there going, okay, are they high? Is all these kids on the marijuana now?
On the devil's cabbage.
Are they just not hearing? Or do they not care? And Serena's always taking up for them. Well, Steve's got a kid. And he might have wanted to go be with his kid. I went, a good father would work his ass off not to lose the job with Uncle Vinnie over here to support said kid.
That's right.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Apparently, one day he came here. He goes, I can only work for 2 hours. I said, what's up? It's a Thursday. He goes, it's my daughter's birthday. Really? Good day. You're going, I don't understand what's going on in the world. And we were talking about it in the last show when I was saying, you got to wake up. You got to put on big boy
clothes on. Yeah.
You have to shower, get yourself cleaned up, get the sleep out of your eyes. You need to show up in life.
Yes.
But this is taking it to a different level.
Yeah.
Now we're finding out that there's a real problem, right? That eating all these seed oils that Kate Shanahan has been coming on this podcast for 11, 12 years. She's coming back on soon again because she's got a new book coming out. Talking about what these seed oils will do to you, how it will screw up. And I can't tell you the number of doctors that come on talking and people just go, yeah. I just want to lose weight. Yeah. Just give me
whatever.
The cognitive, what happens to you, the cognition.
And that's the thing we've talked about. I mean, they're talking right now about banning all kinds of foods that well, not you, but a bunch of us grew up with, the Lunchables, the Skittles, the Gatorades, whatever. And we hear about endocrine disruptors and hormone problems and reproduction. And now we're talking about your brain. Do you care yet?
Well, the big food industry is still giving money to Congress. That's the biggest lobbies out there. Let's see how that goes. I don't see it turn. The only way it turns around is if you turn it around yourself.
Yeah.
And by the way, the number of parents, I hope you heard what Gina was talking about here, because the number of parents that are trying to lose weight and they call me for these consults and they'll go, man, it's so tough around my house because I'm doing this, but my kids,
Mm.
is there a thing called the goldfish?
Of
You remember
course.
the
Oh,
goldfish?
that's a big popular one. The Pepperidge Farm
Oh,
goldfish.
the goldfish. My kids have the candy. They
Chicken
have
nuggets. No.
thank you.
Yeah.
And I always stop them and go, wait a minute. You won't eat this stuff anymore, but you're allowing your kids to eat it. And they always stop, I stop them right in their tracks because they're not thinking. They're thinking, come on, parents. If you're getting off this shit, get
Yeah.
your kids off. Now I get it. You're motivated. You want to lose weight. You got a wedding coming up, what have you. I get it. You're going to the beach. You want to look hot because you're a divorced mom or dad. You want to go to the beach and find your next up that's going to divorce you 8 years from now. I get what's going on. The bottom line is, Gina, are you there? What's
You're
going on?
killing me today. I can't take it.
All right, hang on.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so
Reset.
here we go.
Okay.
All right. She fell off a chair, folks. Literally. Never seen Gina Grad fall off a chair before.
He's gonna divorce you in 8 years. Okay, go.
I know what you're thinking. It's not 8 years. It's more like 5.
Oh my God.
They don't even get to the 7. It used to be a 7-year itch.
That's right.
Yeah. They get to like a 5-year. I might be itching. I'm not quite sure. Did a gnat bite me? Okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
First time something comes up, I'm out.
Out.
You're an asshole. I'm leaving. All right. But if you're not going to worry about your kids, it's all you have, right?
Yeah.
Come on. What are you doing? Now, I get it. It's not going to be as easy for the kids. You can't just take their goldfish away and their Haagen-Dazs and their Pepperidge Farm cookies and what have you. Pop-Tarts,
Oh,
what have you. Can't take it.
frozen pizza.
But you know what you can do? You can slowly start to work it out. Titrate. Let's give you a fancy word. You can titrate these kids off
What?
of this stuff. That's
Wean?
right.
Is that like weaning?
Yeah, it's like weaning. Yeah.
Well,
Wean
and
'em.
that's the thing. I have a kid here. He, we don't drink Prime and Gatorade and all this stuff because it's not good for you and whatever. And, he has snacks and I'll put like a treat in his lunch, but like a treat, not a bunch of treats. He gets a treat. Sometimes it's, a piece of apple candy that I got from when I was in Kansas because he likes apple, sour apple or whatever. Sometimes it's a whatever. It's a treat. It's a Hershey Kiss, whatever. But he's no stranger to all this stuff, but he knows at breakfast and at dinner, because we don't have him for lunch because he's at school, he knows what to expect. There's no complaining. Maybe when he was 4 or 5, there was, but we never gave in. And I personally, maybe I'm lucky that, maybe he's just easier than other kids. I wouldn't know what it's like to cook 2 separate dinners. You don't cook a dinner for the adults and dinner for the kids. The
No,
kids don't have buttered noodles while we have meat and vegetable. Everybody eats dinner.
everybody eats the same thing. That's the way it was when I was growing up. And listen, sometimes I'm on the phone with the husband. I can't get my wife and kid on board or kids. Sometimes I'm on the phone with the wife. I can't get my husband and kids on board. Get them on board.
Yeah.
As if your life depends. No, look, don't go pester them and hammer them and the whole thing. Start moving them in that direction. You find something you like on your low carb diet, try to encourage them to eat it too.
Yeah.
Let them start liking it. It doesn't have to be a big change right now, right overnight. You let it happen over time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I think we're kind of saying the same thing when it's like, his lunch isn't packed with 14 treats. It's packed with a treat. It's not like he's going to open his lunch and go, I didn't get a Hershey Kiss today. I mean, because I'm not worried about Hershey Kiss. What I'm worried about is the rest of the space in the lunchbox. So,
Yeah.
there's plenty of ways to make it work where you're not, startling a kid into resenting you.
Yeah.
It's
And
easy.
look,
It's
look,
been easy for us. I've been lucky.
right. And Gina's written whole books on this,
Yeah.
right? So you go check. I'm not kidding about this. I hate it when they go, I can't get me on my kids, my wife, or my kids and my husband's on board, whatever. I'm telling you, if you care about them, if you love them, Gina just read the article.
Yeah.
These are facts.
And again, the brain is the scary one for all of us. We hear about our heart or our, liver, and I'm not a doctor. I don't really know how that's affecting my body. We know what the brain does. And when the brain tells us we might be giving our kids dementia, now you've got my attention.
If you get a chance, and by the way, well, you don't know this yet. We'll talk about it next week. But there's a woman I've had on my podcast several times, Dr. Mary Newport,
Mm.
who's been talking about this, screaming it from the mountain. Her husband had early onset Alzheimer's disease. This guy went from being able to, he was an accountant to, I'm going to show you what he did, Gina. Let's see,
Such a scary disease.
They asked him to draw, this guy was in his early 50s. They asked him to draw a clock.
Okay.
And
Doing something.
he did something like this.
He's drawing something he's probably going to show us in a second. He's told to draw a clock. Can't wait to see what
They
you do.
asked him to draw a clock, and it looked something like that.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So what he's
Okay?
showing me is one circle with a bunch of random circles
Just
all over
circles,
the place.
numbers all over the place.
Numbers all over the page.
Right. And that's what he thought a clock was.
Oy.
Right. Mary put him on coconut oil for 1 week or less than a week. He went back into the same, no other protocol. Put him on coconut oil for 1 week. Took him off of seed oils. He went back 1 week later. They asked him to draw a clock. And he drew this. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, we're just getting the headline here, but I want to see this next clock.
And she shows it. So that was the next clock. It was just
That
numbers.
that is an incredible improvement. That's a clock.
He went from what you saw before
Oh
to
boy.
to where the numbers were actually inside of one circle with a bunch of lines going in every direction.
Wow.
Right. Just 1 week of just, and if you don't think diet makes a difference, and it's one of the few videos on my Instagram, if you ever want to go look at it, not my Instagram, my YouTube, where, people, because there's a lot of people with Alzheimer's now, and this is what's going on.
Well, and you were the first and only, frankly, person where I've ever heard the phrase abs are made in the kitchen. I'd never heard that phrase before I'd met you.
Right. But it's not just abs, it's your brain. There was a commercial back in the, I want to say 70s or 80s. You weren't born yet.
Sure.
And it said, this is your brain. And they showed you an egg.
Oh yeah. This is your brain on
And then
drugs.
they cracked it and they put in, and they hit the hot thing.
On the fryer.
This
Yeah.
is your
Yeah.
brain on drugs. So we know what drugs will do to the brain. This is no different.
This is a drug.
Yeah. Yeah. Eating these processed junk foods with all the seed oil and all this other crap and all these chemicals, it's the same thing as taking a drug. When I tell a guy to do something in my yard, a simple task that I'm paying him for, and he can't do it, and that's supposed to be a sober individual, he's looking me right in the eyes and said, what did we just talk about? I'm going to cut the grass. I'm going to rake it up and hold it. Never finished.
Bizarre. And didn't call later, say, oh, so sorry about the grass. It's just walked away like a zombie.
He was done with the job.
Wow.
In his mind, he was done.
Mm.
And by the way, he calls himself a professional lawn care guy. My lawn doesn't look anywhere near the way it looks when I do it. Now,
Yeah.
I get it. It's my lawn. I'm gonna spend extra time with it.
Yeah, but you
But
also don't do it for a living.
if you're doing that for a living, don't you wanna impress the guy?
I'd say pro-am at best, not a professional.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And that's the thing. It's like we're going to constantly blame this stuff on other things because either we don't have the information or we don't wanna know, or it's stalking us in slow motion to the point that we don't connect the dots. But I'm here to tell you right now that the study in vivo, I believe Vinnie called it, is showing that when you pump rats full of junk food, they don't have any more memory, and it's the same issue as
Yeah.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So just a little food for thought, no pun intended.
I never knew one person with Alzheimer's when I was a kid. Not one.
Mm.
Not one.
And
Now it's rampant.
well, and that's the thing. It was always it's so mysterious. We don't know how it's just if your number comes up and, you never know who's going to be afflicted by it. And now in 2024, we're thinking, "Oh, well, now we're starting to see a clearer picture." And I think we talked about this before too. Dr. Drew did a study years ago where took men, I think it was all men from all walks of life, janitors and CEOs and Fortune 500, and they all had, I think they had dementia. And the thing that they realized at the time they all had in common was they never got enough sleep. They only slept for like 3 or 4 hours a night. So we're talking about sleep health, we're talking about food health, and up until now, it was just random. There was no way to predict it. And now we can see how we can cut our chances, by a damn sight if we do the right thing.
Look, I've had several doctors on, sleep hygiene. I've had
Yeah.
several sleep doctors on this show talking about sleep hygiene. I'll tell you another one. If you would have said Parkinson in 1985,
Oh, yeah.
everyone would have thought you were talking about Diane Parkinson. It didn't exist.
Yeah.
The only Parkinson we knew about was on The Price is Right.
Who?
Diane Parkinson.
She's from The Price is Right? She was a Barker's Beauty?
Oh, she not only the Parker's Beauty, he was, I'll tell you two things about her. She was one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. I think she was a beauty queen at some point, and and Bob Barker got in trouble because he kept sexually harassing her.
Ah.
And by the way, quite the model in Playboy magazine.
Really?
I have those pictures burned into my memory.
Oh, here she is. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
As my grandfather would say, she would pet cars and she would pet couches.
Oh, that's right. That's her
And
whole
so one
job.
night, they were
Exactly. A
on the,
new yeah.
yeah. He goes, look at that beautiful woman petting that couch. You got to
Nice
pet
work
that
if you can get it.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
She's petting the snowmobile. What's she doing petting that snowmobile? That was my grandfather watching television back in the
Oh,
70s.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So just a little something extra to think about. We know that it's not good for anyone. We know it's not good for developing bodies, but now we see how it's not good for developing brains. So do you have to, like Vinny said, do you have to completely overhaul your life and traumatize everyone in your house? No, but you can start swapping some stuff out slowly but surely to give everyone a good fighting chance.
Yeah. By the way, you know who is the original Vanna White?
Vanna White, she's been around for 100 years.
No, the original Vanna White. Her
Who?
name was Carol Merrill.
Oh, Carol Merrill. I've heard of her.
Yeah. She was on Let's Make a Deal
Oh my God.
with Monty Hall. Carol Merrill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fetching. Can you please just write down? You would never be able. There's not enough time for you to write down all the random trivia you have. Oh, and she really had that Dorothy Hamill haircut for a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 That was hot for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Carol Merrill. I was a big Carol Merrill. But that was the one my grandfather would always go, look at her petting that couch.
That's what she's doing in this picture. Petting that car.
She was at a car. That was her job. Rub her hand across the car like she was petting it.
Oh my God. This is so funny. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry. We're going
by
down
the
our
way,
own rabbit hole.
there's two guys that know all the same random trivia, me and Tim Conway Jr.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. You and Conway.
Yeah.
You're essentially the same person, although he is the exact opposite of your health advice in just about every way.
He does everything wrong. And if he was doing something right, he would correct himself and do it wrong.
Oh, yeah. He's
Yeah.
the one who always says he and his dad always went to the same doctor, and his dad would go to the doctor, "So, you smoking, you drinking, you, eating bad food?" "No, no, God, no." And then Tim would go in and say the same thing, and so he'd go, "So we got 2 generations of Conways lying to our doctors."
Yeah.
So that's just the way it is.
My
Betting on
favorite
the
thing,
ponies, giving him a heart attack.
my favorite thing that Tim Conway Jr. has ever done was after his father died, about a week later, he went to the track and he ran into one of their old cronies at the track. And the guy says something to the effect of, do you know the story, Gina?
No.
Guy goes, yeah, your dad. He goes, yeah, he's supposed to meet me here in about 20 minutes. So what's going on? Tim does it, and he goes, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, my dad's going to be here. So what's going on? What did he tell you? And he goes, wait, Tim, sit down. He goes, no, the races are getting ready to start. Is my dad here yet?
He's such an ass. If you lived here and you talked to him for 5 more minutes, he would start doing this to you, so you're very lucky you don't live here. I
Yeah.
get random texts from Tim Conway Jr., 3 times a week, and you know what they say? It's 3 not even words. Chase on 7. Chase on 9. He
Oh,
wants
yeah.
me to watch the
He
car the
loves the
police
chase.
chases. Yeah, and
Guy,
I'll just get a text, "Chase on 7. Turn on TV." It's his
the
favorite.
guy loves a car chase. I've never known anyone. I bet he's betting on those car chases. He's probably
And
a bookie on the car
That's
chase.
that's actually smart and probably true. At one point, the cops called and said, "Please stop doing this. Like we don't want to draw any attention to this and make these guys feel famous." And he'd be like, "Okay, no problem," and then get back on. "All right, Blue Buick, if you can hear me, flash your lights." And we got him. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the best.
He,
So
he,
good.
he really is the best. I
Yeah.
mean, the guy, yeah, he's in a lost art called radio, but
And
he
he
is,
begged me. He literally, to my face in person, begged me not to send him a wedding invitation when I got married. And I said, "I can't do it. You can decline it, but I can't not send it. Please, Gina, please. I don't want to go to any more weddings. I like to stay home. I like to, please, I don't want to go. I'm sorry. I have to send it. And I will assume that you're not coming." So he would have been there, but he does not like to get dressed up and schlep around. That's not his thing.
let me tell you how I know he wasn't at your wedding.
He would have been at your table.
Yeah, he was. I was at the celebrity table and there
Yeah.
was room for me, which means he wasn't there.
Yeah, Tim and Garagos had a late RSVP saying no can
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Oh my
When I
god.
noticed that both me and Mike August was at the VIP table, it's like, boy, this is a weak group. He let 2 wops into a wedding and put us at the VIP table.
And thank God for Mike August because he was the only one at the table that wasn't intimidated to eat in front of you.
Well, you know what he did to me at your wedding?
Alright.
I went up, I got the meat. The meat was amazing.
Yeah, good. You got the
I got the
carving
meat.
station.
Yeah, I got the meat and I got some other kind of meat. And I go sit down, and now he's critiquing my food to Corolla and to Drew. That it's like, I looked at him and said, Mike, let me just enjoy. Can I just enjoy my dinner? Why are you critiquing my dinner?
Like you're the one doing something wrong.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm just enjoying myself here. I got some meat.
You got some meat
I think,
jewelry.
yeah, I think I put some jewelry on the side. And he goes,
Yeah.
look, he's not eating his jewelry. I said, you want it? And Corolla goes, no, I'll take it. It's like, Adam, you could go get more. They got more.
Yeah, you can go back as many times as you want.
No, he was eating off of my plate.
And I'm glad you brought that up because my husband, I give him a lot of shit because when we go to like a really nice restaurant, when the sides don't come with the dinner because it's a nice restaurant, you order a la carte, he just wants his meat. And I'm like, come on, you're embarrassing me. You got to order a side. I don't want a side. I just want the ribeye. So now I'm going to leave him alone about that.
Yeah, I just get the meat.
Yeah.
That's
That's
just
what
the
he
way to
wants.
do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, folks, that's the thing. Look, Gina looked up a study that we already knew everything about. Bottom line, you know, we sit around, we want to get our kids in the best school, and we want to do this and that.
Right.
We've learned two things. You take away recess, and kids aren't as smart. You take away exercise, kids aren't as smart. You feed them crap, kids aren't as smart. These are things that we can change, right? These are
Yep.
easy things to change.
Yep.
You know, you eat this
And
crap,
they're
you hit
not,
the lower system, and on and on and on. And go on.
and no one's coming to save us. Quite the opposite.
Save yourself.
Yeah.
That's the message here. Save yourself. Also, go to nsngfoods.com. NSNG Foods, get the Ultra Fat 15% off right now with promo code Vinnie, VINNIE, no wimpy Y, VINNIE, 15% off. I'm going to keep that running for a minute. I'll let you guys know when it's coming to the end, but don't mess around. Get it now, because no matter what, even when we tell you guys that the sale will be over with, you always screw up and you go, oh man, I was going to order it tonight. Go order it right now. Don't wait till the end, because you're going to miss it. And by the
Yeah.
way, when I cut it off, I cut it off. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. Gina Grad is all over the place. I see her on Fox News now. Gina, can I ask you about that before you do your
Please.
plugs?
Yeah.
Are you a regular? What's going on?
I'm becoming a regular on Good Day LA Plus. I'm going on again next Friday, and probably the Friday after that. I'm having a ball. They just invite me on because I don't know. I guess they think I'm fun, and I just come in and I either guest host with a little earpiece and the teleprompter, or I just come in and I kick back as a guest, and I'm having the best time. I love those women. I love the producers, and it's a real. I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Is that the show that Jill was on for a long
Yes,
time?
that
Yeah.
was the original Dorothy and Steve and Jill, yeah, and now it's a whole new crew, and it's Araxia and Jen and Sandra and Amanda, and they're awesome.
There was one Fox show. This girl was a big fan of what I do. Cute girl. She had me on. It was like Fox Midday. Can't
Ooh,
remember her
I wonder.
name now.
I mean,
Good looking
there's so
girl.
many,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. She's a big NSNG fan, and
oh, that's great. Yeah,
I,
these women are all, let's put it this way, they all have little kids, so they were pregnant not that long ago, and they
yeah,
all look like a Barbie that just came out of a box. I mean,
yeah. And but
it's
you fit right in with that group. You
well,
look.
thank
I've
you.
never heard any of the shows. I just see the photos you put up.
Thank you.
And folks, if you want to see these photos, you can go check out Gina Grad on Instagram.
That's right, at Gina Grad, and I'll post some of the videos, I just got lazy and didn't post them. And then, of course, My Extra Mom with, Mother's Day basically here. It's for any kind of mom in your life, an aunt, a stepmom, a foster parent, so a teacher that you just really looks out for you. My Extra Mom, grab that by going to vinnietortorich.com, clicking on the Amazon banner. It'll take you right to it, and enjoy that.
Yeah.
And, of course, sorry, My Extra Family, my family account on Instagram.
All right. You know what to do with me. Go get the NSNG Foods promo code Vinny. Get the Ultra Fat. You know what to do. Amazon. Before you go to Amazon, go to vinnietorres.com. Also, can you tell I've been talking for like 5 hours here?
Yeah, I
So
can.
done.
It's
I'm
time
swearing
to
now.
relax.
Okay. And one more thing. Rate and review this podcast. Boom. We're going to have some exciting news next week. I think we're going to break it on the Monday show.
Ooh.
No, wait, no, no, we broke it this past Monday.
It's
Gina's
been
gonna
done it's done, been broken.
Yeah, Gina's gonna watch the movie, and I wanna get your opinions next week, Gina.
Wait, I can't
So,
wait.
yeah, we'll do that. On behalf of Gina Grad, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living and do it with Carol Merrill.